Hey you guys, it is Kim with Kim's Crafts and Create It with Kim, and I'm doing a 4-foot garland. So I was just going to record it and do it, edit it and put it on there, and I thought, well, shoot, I'll just make a Facebook, get this part going. And excuse my sinuses as usual because my nose is always running. So if you can see behind me, this blue wreath is what the lady has purchased, and she wants to do a garland to match it. And so I've got a garland that she had picked, and we are going to make it similar to that and just make it match that wreath. So we start off, these are 9 foot long, but we're just cutting it in half. So we're just going to do 4.5 foot. So we're going to do 11 of, so we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 4, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Okay. I always count twice because sometimes I count it wrong. And you'll notice that me fighting this thing all the time because these things are not the easiest to make them go where you want them to go. And so to make my life easier, I got these clamps on Amazon, and I just clamp this thing down to the table. And I'm so sorry that I'm sniffling in your ear. And I literally just clamp it down to the table because I will go insane trying to wrangle these things. When I do the long ones, I literally clamp them all the way around the table. I don't think this deco mesh probably helps my sinuses either. Probably makes it worse. Alright, so I pull it as tight as I can pull it and just clamp it down on both ends. And then just a couple of clamps in the middle for good measure. Because I don't like fighting these things. Okay, so I've cut my mesh 2 at a time. And I cut them into 18-inch strips. I use my scissors to hold it down. And with both of them at the same time, I just crinkle them up the middle. And I think I don't know if you can see on the end or not. I just put it in on the end. Give it a good 1 or 2 twists. I usually give it 1, I guess. And then when we come back to the next one, we're going to do it opposite and put the tan on top and the stripe on bottom. Line them back up. And sometimes it cooperates and sometimes it doesn't. And then we'll just ruffle it up the middle. Same thing. We're going to go all the way down and put one in each of these 11 ties. So then, tan on top again. We're just ruffling it up the middle. Putting the tan on top again. And I have to pay attention to what I'm doing because I'll get halfway down the thing and realize I've put 2 of them in a row that are the same. And I'm sure probably nobody would notice if I left it that way, but my OCD will not allow it. So I have to go back in and fix it. Unless I notice it after I've already put glue on it and then we're just kind of stuck. But I have been known to get my heat gun out to melt the glue to pull everything out and fix it. That one's a little bit crazy. There we go. They get a little bit tricky when one of them is curlier than the other. trying to get them lined back up, but just manhandle it a little bit and make it work. All right. Just ruffling them up the middle. See, I almost did it again. That's got tan on the top. So I'll just clip it with my clippers and it'll be ready for the next one. So we want straps on top. That's funny. I was just talking about doing it like that and then I almost did it like that. You always want to make sure when you're doing your ruffles, I'll show you on the next one, that your raw edges are pointing down because deco mesh frays. And so we always want to make sure everything's pointing down. Let's use the one that we made by mistake. So that even if it does start to fray, you don't see it in your top piece. It's on the bottom. Let's see. We can make it cooperate. Because sometimes it doesn't want to. Like right now. There we go. If you can get the top part lined up and get it weighted down, it makes it easier. All right. So our first little crunch, I don't know if you can see, we always make sure that we've got, I don't know, it's probably about an inch facing down so that it is facing to the back. And then when we get to the end, we want to make sure that's facing down. That way all of our raw edges aren't showing. Hope that made sense. I think my nose decided to run twice as much since I turned the record button on, because it was running just a little bit and now it's just going crazy. Okay. So now we're back to tan on top. And this one is going to have lights in it. I posted a picture on Facebook earlier of the wreath with the lights in it. And the lady that ordered them paid extra to have lights in both of them. That's the cool thing about Etsy. When you see stuff in people's Etsy shops, in mine for sure, I'm sure all the rest of the people are like that too. If you see something you like, don't hesitate to ask questions. I have people message me all the time asking for something a little different. Well, the last live I did was a purple wreath that she saw in my Etsy shop and asked if I could make it without the sign. And then I posted one, well, it was the same blue wreath, but on the smaller frame. She wanted that wreath, but in a smaller version. So if you guys do any shopping on Etsy, don't hesitate to ask for changes or customizations or whatever. That's what we do. All right, we got two more after this, and then we're gonna fluff it all out. I don't know if you, I guess you probably can't see what I'm doing on this end. I'm just doing the same thing still. All right, last one. And I haven't decided if I want to put the leaves in first or the lights in first. think I'll do the lights. All right, last one. So we got that in there. So then we're just literally, because remember we put 2 in there at a time. So we're just going to grab them and pull them apart so that they look all nice and fluffy, making sure that our raw edges are pointing down. Feel like a mouth breather today. And we're literally just pulling them apart. Can you see the difference in how fluffy this is and how flat that is? I ought to do a centerpiece, a deco mesh centerpiece like this to match that one too, because that's a pretty popular wreath. It's actually my most popular fall wreath. Poor Linda just got done cutting ribbons for them. It took her, I can't remember, like 10 hours or something like that, she said, to get all the ribbon cut. I wish I wouldn't have taken them out to my shed a few minutes ago. I'd show you the totes. They're, I don't know, maybe about like this tall, and I've got 2 of them full of the ribbon that she just cut and brought back to me a few days ago. In preparation, she calls it fall madness. And of course, the baby boy on cue. Come here, sweet boy. You want to make your cameo early? Your mom's not here to hold you up. Come here. Come here. Come here. Oh, here's the big boy. I know it. You're a sweet baby. You're going to have cat hair all over me for the whole rest of this video. I know it. Your whiskers are tickling. He loves to have his ears scratched. Look how big he is. He is humongous. He weighs like 20 pounds. Don't you, sweet boy? All right. He's a sweetie pie. And his cat hair makes me itch. You're probably why my nose is running. All right. So we're flipping it. Oops. My earbud. For somehow or another, I'm going to blame that on you, Jasper. I don't know how it's your fault, but it is. All right. So we've got the last 2 fluffed up. And see how nice and fluffy it looks now when it was flat a minute ago? He's so silly. Hi, Melinda. How do you know how big to make? How big to make what? How long to make them? To the garland itself? It just depends. So I've had people ask me to make them 18 foot long to go all the way around their door. But they come in 9-foot garlands, and I don't have boxes big enough to ship them in 18. So I just tell them that they need to buy 2 of the 9-foots, and then they just connect them together when they hang them. I've had people ask for 4.5-foot for mantles. I did a 7.5-foot one the other day. It really just all depends on where you're putting it. I hope, does that answer what you were asking? I started off listing them in my Etsy shop at 9 foot because that's just how long the garlands were. And then at 4.5 foot because that's just one of them cut in half. And then I've had just people asking for the different sizes ever since. So whenever you've got, I don't know if that's showing on camera, but I've got some that is fraying, I will literally, I need a new lighter, burn the edges off and that stops it from fraying. Got a couple of them like that. And sometimes it's aggravating because sometimes the same part number of deco mesh, the quality will be really, really good on one box, and then on the next box, you get a lot of fraying. Got a couple of them. And I'll just run the lighter on the ones that are like that. But you got to be careful because they will catch on fire. So be very, very, very careful. Okay, I think we're going to do the lights next. Got my big bag of goodies that I got from the shed. Find the lights. Okay, here's my lights. So I can send her the decoration or the instructions to go along with them. Let me go get batteries. But then I always don't have everything prepared. I like to turn the lights on while I'm doing it so that I can make sure that I've got them all spaced out correctly. I'm sure that's exactly what you guys want to watch is people putting batteries and stuff. And these lights are really cool. I didn't realize it when I bought them because I just bought them because they were on sale last year, but they've got a timer on them. When you turn it on, they stay on for 6 hours, and then they turn off for 18, and then they automatically turn back on for 6 hours. And they've got just regular, steady, flashing, and fading. Let's see what the difference is. That's steady. I don't know if you can tell. Flashing and fading. Oh, I see. Okay, that's pretty cool. Oh, see, this is start my videos so that you guys don't have to watch all of this. But I have found I like watching the videos better that shows like everything they did. Okay. And these are just LED lights, little LED string lights. How far apart are the ties? And I missed the beginning. What is the base that you are attaching the ties to? So they're just called Garland, wire Garland bases, I guess. They're real thick wire, and they have the ties on them, kind of like if you buy the wreath frames that have the tinsel ties on them already. And they're usually 9 foot long with 22 ties on them. I just cut this one in half to do 11, and it looks like the ties are about 1, 2, 3, about 4 inches apart. Is what they look like. I think I'm going to put the leaves on first, and then the lights. I don't know. Let's put the leaves on and see what happens. So I got these from Hobby Lobby. And it's just a leaf garland. Oh, these are pretty bad. Sometimes you'll get lucky. You're very welcome, Corrine. Sometimes you'll get lucky and they won't be super crumpled, and then sometimes they will. And I don't go into like a whole lot, I don't spend a whole lot of time fluffing them out, but I'll give it a good little once over. I'm waiting on my steamer. They usually heat up pretty fast. Sorry, I'm vaping in you guys' ears. And remove the batteries also. Just kind of steam them out just a little bit. Like this one, you see how crumply he is? Once we get everything in there, you won't be able to tell as much, but oh, I guess he was glued down. You know, sometimes, I guess when they make them through the machines. And I'm not going for perfection here. I'm just literally getting the worst ones. It would take forever to try to sit here and steam out every single leaf. But I figure for the price people pay for these, we ought to put in just a little bit of extra effort. And like I said, I'm just getting the worst ones. These steamers are amazing. I got this one off of Amazon. I think, I don't know, maybe like 25 bucks or so. It is definitely worth the investment if you are making anything that's got florals in it. That one's pretty bad. And you just kind of manipulate your stuff around so that it takes the shape that you want it to take. We've got recent wine coming up on Wednesday, so see, ladies, you're kind of getting to see a little bit of the stuff that me and Linda do before when we're making your kits. All the steaming and the cutting and the prepping. All right, last one. He seems to be the worst one. All right, I don't know if you can tell on camera or not, but it does look better. Hey, Gayla, what are you doing? Are you playing pickleball today? Bridget asks about you every single time I talk to her, asks if I've seen you. She always says to tell you she misses you. All right, so I'm just clipping the end off, but I'm leaving a little bit of a stem on there because we want something to go into the end. And we're literally just going to untie the ties that we just put the mesh in. And I always put a little dab of glue for the first one. Oh, and of course my glue gun. Safety feature turned off already. I'll come back and glue it down while it's heating up. But anyways, I'll put a little dab of glue in there just on the first one. It's probably not necessary, but just for... But I would rather overdo it than underdo it and then it fall apart. So we're just going to go down the line. And you want to pull it not tight, but, and the leaves always fight me on these. You don't want there to be any any, like you want it to be in there tight, but not like where it's smushing stuff up. I don't know what I'm trying to say. My brain fog sometimes. And so we're literally just going to go down the line. Put the leaves in. And normally I'll pull out these blue ones when I'm making the other one, but since we're matching blue, I think we might leave those in. Even though these are kind of a pain to make sometimes, just because one, it takes longer than making a wreath because there's so much more stuff in them, and then they always want to flop around on you, and boxing them is a mother sometimes. I really do enjoy making them. They're so pretty. If I get time, if I can catch up on orders this weekend, I really want to do a Halloween one. I've got just like a generic Halloween one in the 9-foot that I do. But I want to do, I don't know, either like a ghost, or I think a ghost theme would be cute. I think candy corn would be cute too. I did a ghost centerpiece the other day. I could make one to match that. Need to make a wreath to match it. I've got these really cute signs that have ghosts on them that say spooky. And I've got some that say boo on them too. And you'll notice too with these, the more stuff you get on them, the easier they are to manipulate because they're not flopping all over the place. I guess it weights them down a little bit, adds some stability. One more. And then I think we'll put the lights on top of this. So when we get to the end, we want a little bit of the leaves to be hanging off. So we'll clip it about there. So then I have this much of my garland left, and I'll put this over to the side, and when I get it finished, I'll clip off just the individual leaf pieces and fill in anything that looks bare. All right, so we can come back and glue this first one in now that hopefully our hot glue gun is ready. And then we'll put a little dab of glue on the other end. Sorry, you guys, I'm vaping in your ears. Let me just pull it a little bit tight. I'm going to have to trim some of those leaves off. I got that one a little bit too long, but we'll trim it off at the end. Okay, now we're going to do our lights. And I like to do my lights with them on just so that I can see where they are. Well, am I doing this backwards maybe? I did some of these earlier today, and I don't remember them being all twisted up like this. It's just me, probably. I know it, sweet boy. No, you would rather me be paying attention to you than making a wreath. Your mom abandoned you for her Nana's house. Maybe she'll come give you some love later on today. And these are long enough, I'll probably go down and back up, I bet. Okay, I think we got it now. I don't have the patience for that kind of stuff. All right, so I think I want, can I do it like that? Let's just see. Okay, so again, we're going to untwist it, and I'm going to have one of the lights hanging further past the tie. And I try to make sure, because I want to pull them kind of tight in here, but I don't want any of the lights to fall into where the ties are. So if I have to put it a little looser so that that doesn't happen, because we want all the lights to be seen. Yeah, I think there's going to be enough to go down and come back up. Oops. Sometimes they don't cooperate. It's wanting to twist up in my tie, and I don't want it. There we go. It's hot as heck in here. My ring light that I use is big. I guess that sucker puts off some heat. Either that or I'm having a hot flash. I guess it could be either one. Alright. We're almost down one end and then we'll come back up. And there's no like perfect or right way to do these. Lights are lights. Whether you get them in there tight or loose or put them on the outside ruffles or whatever you want to do, there's no wrong way to do it. That's the cool thing about either making your own stuff or ordering custom stuff, is you get to have it how you want it to be. Oh yeah, I'm gonna have more than plenty. So let's put 2 lights at the end. So I'm just gonna kind of double up the lights at the end. That's one cool thing too about these LED lights. They're on wires, so you can kind of bend them and manipulate them. Jasper just came in here and just literally laid down on my foot. Baby boy, I'm fixing to move. All right, so I'm going to put the second strand in there a little bit looser so that they kind of stick up where the other ones are down in there, if that makes any sense. The earbuds keep wanting to jump out of my ears. By the end, I'll be so aggravated at these leaves being in my way. I'll be ready to yank half of them out. These leaf garlands, I think, are the most aggravating pieces that I work with, but they make the project look so nice. I'm sorry, but I had to move. You can't just lay on people's feet. I mean, I guess you can, but you're going to get booted off. He's looking at me all pitiful. Okay. I'm almost back at the... Oh, we'll have just a little strip of it to go back a third time. I have to look and see if they... I'm sure they make these in all different sizes. I think I got these at Hobby Lobby last year. I need to look on the wholesale place that I buy from and see what kind of lights they have, because I get requests all the time for people wanting lights in their wreaths. And up until after Christmas last year, I didn't have any. Because you know we got to wait till the stuff goes on sale before we buy some. Hobby Lobby today has free shipping on orders over $50. So I ordered a couple of fall things. All right. So we'll just put this last one back in here. The first 3 ties will have triple lights. I don't think you'll be able to tell though. Okay, so then we'll just tuck this down under here. We'll go ahead and turn them off. Okay, so now that we have that in there, again, I'll come back and fluff and move my leaves around. Get some of them down in between. Do it on both sides. Because we don't want them all just bunched up in the middle. And see, like right here, when I get to the end is probably where I'll glue in some of the leaves that are left over from the end of the garland. We're just fluffing and fluffing. And like right here, we've got a big bald spot, I guess, from maybe leaves falling off or something. So we'll probably glue some in there too. So when you're making this one in particular, you run down it several times, fluffing everything and moving everything. I think this should be the last time because we're fixing to start gluing stuff in. I think there's another big bald spot. And it's funny too, when you're putting the leaves on, until you come back to fluff around, you don't notice. All right, so we are good to go on that. So on the original, I have a big orange pumpkin in the middle, but we're gonna do a big blue pumpkin in the middle since we're matching the blue pumpkin wreath. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So this is the middle. Oh, of course, I counted off 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I use these for my to mark my place, and then I used them to cut it. I wonder about me sometimes. So we just want to make sure that it's sticking to something. So I literally grabbed this, burning my fingers, grabbed the mesh that was around it and held it together. Okay. And then I got my handy dandy instruction sheet because we're going to make it really similar and just change the colors up. So we've got ribbon, and for the garlands, if I know what I did with my ribbon. Oh, so for the garlands, I usually cut the ribbon at 12 inches. So instead of 14, because I want all the pretty stuff showing. So we're going to put ribbon in the first one. And just like on our wreaths, we line them up, fold them in half. Put them in there. I don't guess you, well, you can see me a little bit on the end. And twist it 2 or 3 times. And then we make an X. And I don't clip any of my ties off until I'm done because I can't ever remember which ones I use the ties again and which ones I don't. And then number 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. X. And these are just so stinking cute. And you can do anything. You can put leaves on them, ribbons, pumpkins. Like I said, I want to do a ghost one. Candy corn, witches. Like the possibilities are endless. And that's just for fall. Or I guess that would be Halloween. I do them for Christmas, for Easter. I haven't done a St. Patrick's Day one. So 4, 8, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I've got my handy dandy cheat sheet. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I make those for all the wreaths that I make so that when I come back to make more, I know exactly what I did. And then number 11, which will be on the end. We're just lining it up, folding it in half. And putting it in the end one. It always amazes me how you just start with nothing and end up with such a pretty thing in the end. Because we haven't done that much, really, so far. And it's already so pretty compared to this. It just is amazing to me. Oops. I keep going off my live by accident. Melinda, yes, I'm very organized. It gives me anxiety to not be organized. Oh, let's go ahead and do the ends because I usually do those first and put those under the ribbon. Okay, so I love this stuff. This is deco tubing. And on the ends, I did brown and tan, 2 loops of each. Okay. These are put in here in 3 sections, and they don't make it easy to pull it out and just get one section. So I usually end up making a pretty big mess. Oh, we did it. My trusty bag of... So when I make wreaths, I reuse so much stuff. When I make wreaths, I'll save the little end ties that I clip them off of for stuff just as this. Okay, so we're going to make 2 loops of this. And while we're still holding this one, we're going to find the end of this one. Trim it off because it looks kind of ragged. I was thinking on my ends that they were all brown. Brown. Oh, yeah, they are. I'm crazy. Okay, so we're going to save this one for in a minute. come back to him because we've got some of those in there. Okay, so it's going to be 4 loops. So 1, 2, 3. And while I'm doing it, I'll go like this to make sure that they're the same size because you don't want to pull them because it's so stretchy you don't know. 4. And then we just use our little scrap piece and I'll pull it up like that to make sure that they're all even, and they are. And then just twist it. I just saw me on the, because I've got my phone sitting over here. I forgot I don't have any makeup on and I did not do my hair today. So I'm very sorry. This is what I look like most of the time on Saturday afternoons. All the time when I'm crafting. So 4 loops again. And we're going to hold it up, make sure they're all even, and they are. And normally I put all this away as I go, but I don't want you guys to have to watch me put stuff away. I uploaded a video on my TikTok. I don't know if I put it on here or not, what it looks like behind me when I'm finished. It's just the devastation. All right, so I'm actually going to take my ribbon out and put these under it. And then put my ribbon back in. Just put a little dab of glue on them. And that way we've got, I don't know if you can see it. That way that kind of finishes our end piece. Of course, I'm going to put some little acorns and stuff in there too, but it kind of finishes off our little end piece. And I'll go ahead and do that now too. But I'll get my other end in there first. And then we'll put our ribbon back on. I put these under the ribbon just so that you don't see any of the mechanics. Like I don't want to see the little end piece twisted in there, you know. I like for everything to be covered up. I'm so sorry I'm sniffing in your ears. Okay. So I get these picks from Hobby Lobby. And I use these on so much stuff. They've just got like acorns and seed picks on them. And then I just keep myself a bag of the orange ones and the regular ones pulled apart so that when I get ready to use them. All right, so we're going to get, oh, he's different. Oh, I may have to pull one apart. Let's see. Okay. I hear Linda in my head going, deconstruct to reconstruct. So we've got just some acorns, a couple of the brown ones, and then a couple of the orange ones. And we're just going to twist it all together. And I just use my needle nose because it's faster. And my poor fingers are so tore up at this point. I have an old dowel rod left over from making something. And I'll just take it and twist my little seed pick thingies. And then I'll twist this long one. And then just kind of stretch them back out. And now we've got just a cool little looking pick. Trim it off, and then we're going to put it on top of the deco tubing that we just put on there, and then we'll put our ribbon back on there. If I'd have remembered, I'd have done this part before we did the ribbon. But I did not. And then we'll put our ribbon back in there. But as you can see, that just finishes the end off really nicely to where it's not just like a flat, blunt end. Get this sucker clamped back down. All right, so then we're going to do the other side. Just get a couple of the acorns, a couple of the browns, and a couple of the orange. And then twist them, clip them, and then twist them. Wish I had some of these in blue for this particular one. And then you just kind of move everything around, twist it up. Okay, so then we're going to put this on top of where our deco tubing is on this end. Just put a little dot of glue on there. And then we'll put our ribbon on top of that. Alright, so then we can get these out of the way. Oops, I forgot one. I don't know if you can see behind me, but these are my scrap totes. Like if I take picks apart or whatever, and then have pieces left, I'll put them in these. And it never fails when I start putting stuff away and get everything stacked back up. I'll find a piece that I forgot to put in, and of course it'll be like this one down here. It'll never be the top one. It's always the bottom one. Okay, so then we've got these that I've just poached off of another pick, and they're going to go on top of where our ribbons are. And I'll probably have to go poach 2 more of them because I see I've only got 2, and I need 4. So we're just clipping out the stems where the ribbons are. Sometimes I get clip happy. See, I almost trimmed that one, and that's not the right one. You gotta watch me sometimes with the tools. Actually, I wish I had some blue ones. Do I have blue ones? I might in the scrap tote. Oh, I've got these blue ones. It's a blue pumpkin. Oh, I bet these would be cool in there for blue. Blue thistle thingies. instead of the berries. No, I don't like them. Too much blue with the ribbon being blue. Well, it was a thought. We'll just put the berries in there. And we just go on down in there. Put them straight down in between where the ribbon is. You just want to make sure when you're putting it down in there that you feel it touching something, that it's catching something. Oh yes, I have to have my cheat sheet or else it'd be hard to make the stuff again. Oh, my ribbon is organized in the garage, but I've gotten one of my big import orders in, so there's boxes everywhere out there right now. So it doesn't look like um, it's organized right now. I mean, it's kind of organized, but just a bunch of stuff out there. And then this, oh, the deck, is that what you were asking if it was rope? It's the deco tubing. Okay, see if I have more of the berries without having to go in the. I don't think I do. I'm gonna have to go get them. I'll go get them in a minute. I'll go steal 2 more in a second because I'm sure there'll be something else that I need to go get. Okay, so we've got our ribbon in there, the deco tubing. It's in 3, 5, 7, and 9, so we need 4 of them. So 2, 3, 4. Oh, we only need 3 because I have that one that I started that was wrong. So we did our 2 loops of the tan. And actually, those loops are kind of big. 2 loops of the tan and white, and then we'll do 2 loops of the brown. And we're going to make 4 of these to go in here. So there's one. Our tan loop or brown loop is a little bit too tall. Now it's even. And then just twist it. And then we'll do another one. And I don't measure these. They're about, I don't know, 4 or 5 inches. Well, let's see. They are, I don't know, about 4.5 inch loops. I just kind of eyeball it. That's number 2. 2 more. Two loops. 2 loops. And it seems like I'm always searching for what I just put down. And see, like we pull it up and this side's shorter, we just scoot it over. Now it's even. Okay. And one more. Go ahead and find the end. And you see how that is crazy looking? I'll just take that and make it my tail. 1, 2. And 1, 2. Feel like I got bigger as I went along. Making my loops a little bit smaller. Okay, and then we'll just trim the tails. And even on this stuff, I mean, you can't do it wrong. If your sizes are off or whatever, you can always trim it, change it. Accidentally make the loops too big and decide you like the loops bigger than what you thought you would. Alright, so we're putting this in 3, 5, 7, and 9. So 1, 2, 3. So I just untwist my ties. Put my pipe cleaner down in there. And twist it back. 3, 5, 3, 4, 5. I always just try to make sure that I'm not smushing any leaves down when I put them in there. 3, 5, 6, 7. I'm just twisting it in there. Oh, I grabbed a leaf. See, as soon as I said it, I did it. 7, 8, 9. Okay. And you just kind of move stuff where you want it. Alright. So then we're going to go with our acorn thingies again. I use these so much. These orange ones, though, they're just so good, just adding a pop of color. Alright, so we're going to just pull it apart. We've got 3 stems in there. So I need one more. Because we need 4. Oh, it's stuck together. Hang on. There we go. I don't know why Hobby Lobby insists on putting their glued on price tags. Oh, I broke it. They're glued on price tags onto the actual product. That always baffles me. I love their stuff, but I hate their tags. Alright, well, we're just going to get another one because that one's aggravating me. Maybe I'll try not to break this one. Okay, so we're just going to take this. We're going to add 2 orange ones. And just twist them in. The next one, get 2 orange ones. And then just twist them in. Last one. 2 oranges. And just twist them in. I use these little orange things a lot. They're in this wreath right in here. Alright, and we're going to do this the same. We're just going to twist all the stems. And just kind of move everything around. See how much better that looks than that? Then we're going to trim it off. And then the ties that are holding these in, we're going to trim those off and then glue these down in the center. We want to go down in between where our mesh ruffles are. Isn't that cute? So we're going to do it again for the next 3. All we're doing is rolling them up. I used to just crinkle them up with my fingers, but I found that this works so much better, so much faster. I guess it's the little tips and tricks you learn the longer that you do them. All right, so we're going to trim these off. And just glue. I use way too much glue, I'm sure. I know I say that, and every single time I'm making something, but I use so much glue. And we just want to go down in between where the ruffles are. Acorns and pine cones are just so fall. All right. Twisting them again. I'm glad I'm doing this with a 4.5 foot one instead of a 9 foot one. You guys would get tired of hearing me say the same things over and over and over again, probably. Of course, you may be getting tired of it right now. Who knows? I guess that's the good thing about being able to turn it off if you want to. Get tired of hearing me saying, you just stop watching. I'm going down in between where the ruffles are. Last one. On the ones that have stuff on them, I just twist the top. I don't twist down further. Trimming our ties off. and putting it down in between where the ruffles are. Looking good so far, huh? Okay, so then I wanted some blue pumpkins, and the only ones I could find, I got these little picks at the Dollar Tree, but they have blue pumpkins on them. It was the only blue pumpkins I could find that were little. And then we want some pine cones. Let's see. Oh, that looks like a good size. Is that a good size? Get a little bit bigger. Yeah. Oh, it's kind of crazy looking. This one a good size? Yeah. Sometimes I have to wait and use him till it's something that I can glue him that way instead of it being something that's sticking up. That way you won't see that he's smashed on the back. Okay. Oh, I'm happy, Corrine, that you're learning a lot. I've been trying to make myself do more videos, but I always, make the excuse I don't have any makeup on. Whatever my different excuses are. Most of the time it's because I look like this. And you hate putting that out into the world. But I don't know. I guess at some point I just have to get over myself and know that it's okay that I don't have to have my hair done, or I can do it in my sweats or in my pajamas, which I don't have pajamas on today. I have on actually sweatpants today. So that I can make myself do it and not worry, because you guys don't care what I look like. You want to know how to make the cute little project. All right, so on the pine cones, because they don't have stems on them, we're going to wrap wire around them and make stems. So we just want to go in on the bottom, on that bottom little layer. I don't know if you can hear it crunching. I'm trying not to break the pieces. We're just going to twist it. Twist it lightly because I can hear it all crunching. I don't know if you notice whenever you're looking at stuff that you've bought, because I'll buy like the teardrops and different stuff after Christmas when they're on sale, and I'll take them apart and reuse the pieces and or modify them or whatever, and that's how a lot of their pine cones are connected. So we're going to do the same thing on the other side. Well, that one's kind of janky too. Well, it's on the bottom. We won't be able to tell. And I do these with my needle nose all the time because I have cut myself and poked myself with this little wire so many times. And then if I get blood on any of this, I have to take it out, which has happened a bunch of times. Get blood in a piece and have to take that piece out and replace it because you don't want to mail people stuff that had your blood on it. Okay, so number 2 and number 10. I guess that's the only 2 that we have left that are empty. So we're going to do a blue pumpkin and a pine cone. Oh yeah, that's going to be cute. So we're going to clip out the ties. And when you put the lights in there, make sure while you're clipping, you're paying attention to what you're doing so that you don't cut the lights. I've done that before too. And that's disheartening. They're broken. So we're just putting glue on our stems and putting them down in there. Oops, this pine cone today. Let's do it that way. No, let's do it that way. And then our other one is right here. So, let me get those from in here. So those come on a big stem like this. Oh, but I think I've got some from making the wreaths earlier in my that one. Yep. So I want those. That may be enough of those. So they have the dark ones and the light ones. Let's do the little baby boy is back. What is it? What time is it? Oh, it's close to, actually, it's exactly time for his TREATS. Just a few minutes, sweet boy. We're almost done. Almost done. These have a tendency to fall off, so I just pull the tops off and I glue them back down. So let's do, kind of want to do them both. I think I'm going to do them both. So if we do a tan one and a brown one, see how that looks. Because normally I've got these like branchy looking things that I put in there. Oh, I like that. Can you guys see that? Okay. So let's put the white on the bottom. It's hard for me to tell. Oh, I guess I could have looked on my phone. Sometimes I wonder about me because I was looking up at that screen to see if you guys could see it from there. But the light is so bright I can't really see it. And I literally have my phone right here beside me. I guess because that's the direction I'm talking in, that's the direction I think I need to look in. And then we'll do the same thing on the other side. I know, sweet boy. I know. I'm late. Just a few more minutes. I can't say the word TREATS or else he'll be crying 10 times worse. And I'm vaping in your ears again. Gotta have my nicotine and my caffeine. tan, and then we'll do the brown. And then maybe put a couple of these leaves coming out, and then I think we're done. Oh, and then clip the tie out. And I got the leaf. Smushed them down in there. Sometimes the stuff doesn't want to cooperate. There we go. And then once you get your stuff in there, you just manipulate it where you want it to go. I'll put a couple leaves under it. Except for it's going to be too long. Make it shorter. Whenever stuff doesn't have stems on it, I make stems with my little 4-inch zip ties. Yep. Let's do And all I'm doing is making the leaf shorter so that it doesn't stick out all crazy. And then adding the stem, because I don't think that just the leaf itself would stick. He's just down here patiently waiting now for his TRATS. Oh, they got me that time. I know, I'm late. I'm sorry. Just a few more minutes. I know you don't understand the concept of time. Not much longer. He's so spoiled. I guess all of our fur babies are probably pretty spoiled. My daughter calls him her son. That is her baby. I think she probably loves him more than she loves me. Stuff. If something isn't how you want it to be, just cut it. Change it. Make it how you want it to be. That's part of the fun of creating. Make your vision come to life. All right, so I think right here, and then we're done. But I want them really short. Oh, I don't like that. Those are too spread out. Looks like an octopus. Don't like that. What do we want right there? What, sweet boy? We want something, but what? And actually, I think I only want 3 of these on there. I think maybe that one is throwing me off. So we're going to pull one out on each side. And then one come out, so I'm going to cut it out. There we go. That's better. You wouldn't think it would matter that much, but for some reason it does. Let's pull that one out. Now, that's better. Now maybe we can put them over on the side and they won't look weird. Nope, still looks weird. Something sticky. I need something like a stick or a... Sticky probably doesn't make any sense, does it? Like branchy. Maybe I'm trying to say branchy. If I wasn't on my live, I would just run outside and get something, but I don't want you guys to have to wait for me to go out to my shed and back. I don't know what I want right there. But I won't hold you guys up while we do it. So I need to put my 2 little berry things in here still, which I have to go get out in the shed. And then 2, I think, like branch things. But we're done. Other than my 2 berries and my little branches. So I'll hold it up so that you guys can see it. So just pretend on these 2 right here that they have these berries on there because they are going to have them in just a few minutes. What do you guys think? I think it turned out pretty cute. You probably won't be able to tell when the lights are on. I don't know if you can tell on the thing or not. Anyways, I think it turned out cute. I hope she loves it. I think she will. And I will see you guys next time. Next time I have the bravery to do another one of these.